including a fabric designer, a rare book dealer, a pastry cook, and a librarian. The wife was judged to have better taste in furniture, especially antique furniture. The husband was judged to have overall poor taste in lighting fixtures, tableware, and glassware. The wife was judged to have indifferent taste in window treatments, but the husband and wife both were judged to have good taste in floor coverings, bed linen, bath linen, large appliances, and small appliances. The husband was felt to have good taste in carpets, but only fair taste in upholstery fabrics. The husband was felt to have very good taste in both food and alcoholic beverages, while the wife had inconsistently good to poor taste in food. The husband had better taste in clothes than the wife, though inconsistent taste in perfumes and colognes. While both husband and wife were judged to have no more than fair taste in garden design, they were judged to have good taste in number and variety of evergreens. The husband was felt to have excellent taste in roses, but poor taste in bulbs. The wife was felt to have better taste in bulbs and generally good taste in shade plantings, with the exception of hostas. The husband's taste was felt to be good in garden furniture, but only fair in ornamental planters. The wife's taste was judged consistently poor in garden statuary. After a brief discussion, the judges gave the decision to the husband for his higher overall point score. This one's called Jane and the Cane, another short one. Mother could not find her cane. She had a cane, but she could not find her special cane. Her special cane had a handle that was the head of a dog. Then she remembered Jane had her cane. Jane had come to visit. Jane had needed a cane to get back home. That was 2 years ago. Mother called Jane. She told Jane she needed her cane. Jane came with a cane. When Jane came, Mother was tired and lying in bed. She did not look at the cane. Jane left and went back home. Mother got out of bed and looked at the cane. Then she saw that it was not the same cane. It was a plain cane. She called Jane and told her it was not the same cane. But Jane was tired. She was too tired to talk, she said. She was going back to bed. The next morning she came with the cane. Mother got out of bed. She looked at the cane. It was the right cane. It had the head of a dog on it, brown and white. Jane went home with the other cane, the plain cane. After Jane was gone, Mother complained. She complained on the phone. Why did Jane not bring back the cane? Why did Jane bring the wrong cane? Mother was tired. Oh, Mother was so tired of Jane and the cane. That's one of my highly plotted stories. It keeps you on the edge of your feet, or the edge of your seat. I couldn't resist it. I do take a lot of stories from life, I have to confess. And my old mother, this is exactly what happened with a friend of hers named Jane. And it was something about the language, maybe the rhyme, that I just loved the permutations and the repetitions and of course it's the sheer boredom in one way of being that old. But I think also it's echoing a bit. I actually liked all those beginning readers that they malign so much. The, see, tip, run, tip, run. I loved those books that repeated and repeated. And I think I loved them because I loved learning to read. I mean, that was the point. It didn't really matter that there was no exciting story. But so the next two I'll read are letters of complaint. There's one letter in here, a letter of complaint about the word cremains. But I am quite a complainer, and usually my husband does get the brunt of it, and he gets a bit tired of it. So maybe I thought I could deflect a little of that from him if I started writing letters of complaint. And I actually have sent some of them in different versions. I haven't yet got an answer, but... So the first one is longer than it feels, and longer than I thought it would be, but then it's a few pages. It's called Letter to a Hotel Manager. Dear Hotel Manager, I am writing to point out to you that the word scrod has been misspelled on your restaurant menu so that it appears as shrod with an SCH. This word was very puzzling to me when I first read it. Dining alone on the first night of my 2-night stay at your hotel, in your restaurant on the ground floor off your very beautiful lobby with its carved wooden panels, lofty ceiling, and rank of gold elevators. I thought this spelling must be right and I must be wrong, since here I was in New England, in Boston in fact, home of the cod and the scrod. But when I came down from my room to the lobby the following night, about to dine in your restaurant for the second time, this time with my older brother, and as I waited there in the lobby for him, which is something I generally like to do if the setting is pleasant and I'm looking forward to a good dinner, though in fact on this occasion I was quite early and my brother was quite late, so that the wait became rather long, and I began to wonder if something had happened to my brother. I was reading some literature provided to me by the friendly clerk behind the reception desk, whose manner, like that of the other staff, with the exception perhaps of the restaurant manager, was so natural and unaffected that my stay in your hotel was greatly enhanced by it. After I asked if he had any account of the history of your hotel, since so many interesting and famous people have stayed here or worked here or eaten or drunk here, including my own great-great-grandmother, though she was not famous, and in this literature presumably written by the hotel, I read that your restaurant claimed, in fact, to have invented the word scrod to describe the catch of the day, in contrast to cod, I suppose, for which this city is also famous. I also remembered, perhaps wrongly, seeing this word elsewhere spelled shrod, unless that is a different word with a different meaning. I had thought, I suppose mistakenly, that scrod meant young cod, or perhaps it was shrod that meant young cod, and scrod meant catch of the day, if the word shrod existed at all. I don't know much about scrod, only the old joke about the two genteel ladies returning on the train from Boston, and one of them identifying it as a past tense. And I always thought it was a particular kind of fish. For a moment the previous evening, as I say, I thought this spelling might even be correct, and then I was fairly certain it was not correct, but I was unsure whether it should be shrod or scrod if the word shrod existed. But nowhere else have I seen it spelled shrod with an SCH. I did eventually on the second evening make a connection, perhaps a false one, between this misspelling and the accent with which your restaurant manager addressed my brother and me. This manager was present in the dining room both nights I ate there, and although courteous, seemed a bit cool in his manner, not to me in particular, but to everyone, and on the second evening did not seem to want to prolong the conversation I started with him, in which I suggested that the restaurant add baked beans to the menu, since baked beans are also native to Boston, and the restaurant boasts of being the inventor of Boston cream pie, the official Massachusetts state dessert, as I learned from the hotel literature, as well as a special type of roll. He seemed almost transparently impatient to end the conversation and move on, though move on to what I did not know, since he did not appear to have more of a function than to walk rather self-importantly, by which I mean with an excessively erect posture, from one end of the long, rather dim, splendid room to the other, that is, from the wide doorway through which a handful of people now and then came in from the lobby to have dinner, to what must have been the kitchen, well hidden behind some sort of bar and two large potted palms. In any case, I noticed as he stood conversing with us, inclined slightly toward us, but at each pause turning to move away, that his accent might be identified as German. And this caused me later, when I was thinking about the misspelling of scrod, to speculate that the very Germanic SCH spelling was his doing. This may be quite unfair, and perhaps it was someone else, someone younger, who misspelled scrod, and the mistake was not caught by your manager because of his Germanic predisposition towards beginning a word with SCH. Here I should add in his defense, parenthetically, that in contrast to his cool manner, he